be showing you how to rebuild the carburetor off a 1987 lt230s. The first thing you're going to want to do is pull off this top vent hose if yours still has it on it, and this bottom one. And you're going to want to have a couple tools, like a couple wrenches. I don't know what size, but I'll show you why you need them later. A Phillips and a flathead screwdriver. Alright, first thing you're going to do, you're going to take your Phillips and you're going to loosen this screw so you can drain all the gas out of the bottom of your carburetor. Unless yours is already empty or clogged like mine is. Alright, once all gas is drained out of the bowl, you're going to take your Phillips, and there's 4 screws on the bottom. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to loosen all of them up, and this is why you're going to drain all the gas out, because that happens. Do it over some kind of container so you don't lose any parts or get gas everywhere. Another thing you're going to want to have is a can of carburetor cleaner. Find at Walmart, TSC, place like that. This is from TSC. It's like $5. Alright, you don't want to get this on any rubber O-rings or hoses or anything. Put a straw on it, you're going to need it. Alright. Next thing you're going to do is, this is your float. You're going to, if you're lucky like me, you just like that. And the pin should come right out. After you take the pin out, you're going to lift the float off. Don't lose this needle. Sometimes they have rubber. This one's metal. Don't spray if it has rubber. Don't spray with carb clean. Alright. Now, so you have. Don't forget your float and everything goes, you know, pretty simple. Alright. Next thing, if you're going to get a rebuild kit, it will come with a new float needle. It'll come with a brand new gasket. I just happened to already buy a rebuild kit and it's still acting up. So I think there's just some dirt somewhere. Comes with the gasket, float needle, jets, such as that. Alright, next thing we're going to do is, this is your main jet. You're going to take your screwdriver and pull that out. Alright. Now you should be able to see through these and blow through them. You can see through it like that. Alright. And then the wrenches, whatever size you have. This happens to be a 5/16 or 8mm. This is your orifice tube. You pull that out. This has an O-ring on it. You do not want to spray that with carb clean. Brand new O-ring, that's what it should look like. You should really be able to see through that without a problem. Alright, next is your low speed jet, which is right next to where your main jet would go. This one is usually going to be your main culprit for being clogged. Mine, I can still see through it. These passages, usually this one does get clogged, so that's where you want to take your carb clean and spray it through. Remove your gasket, you can ruin that too. Using carb clean, put it off the side. And on this carburetor, you have this little slosh guard thing that you want to remove. It also holds in your float, seat. I'll pull that out. And the carburetor kit also comes with this float seat. It has an O-ring in there. Usually you don't have to worry about any carb clean getting in there. You can spray it. Shouldn't hurt anything. If you're having problems with the choke, is your choke lever right here, like that. Alright, take a screwdriver. Remember how all these washers go on, because it does get messed up. Try and keep everything together the best you can, like this. Alright. Okay. So then you take 14mm wrench. That was not prepared to do. It's 14mm or 9/16, same size. Just break that loose. Pull that out. Make sure it's out. O-ring here. Here's your choke needle. Alright, you pull this off. This limits, when you push it in, it'll be half choke. Pull out, you can go full choke just by pulling the lever. You want to take that out. And that's what it should look like. Little. Yeah. Okay. Next, you want to take out your fuel air mixture screw and your idle screw. Idle screw, this is new. I can pull out with my hands. Sometimes they get really corroded and you have to use a screwdriver, but O-ring, you don't want to spray that. And then, what you're going to want to do with this, you want to turn it in until it lightly seats and count the turns. So, turn it in until it stops. Alright? That was only about half a turn. Alright, I'll set it back to that just to make sure, that's where everything needs to be. This also has an O-ring you do not want to spray. Alright, there's also a little spring in there. Alright, that comes out. So like that. Sometimes these get bent and don't work right, so you gotta watch that. And your springs. Alright, forgot to say, this spring, this bigger spring, right here, came out with the idle screw, and the smaller one comes out with the fuel air mixture screw. And with the fuel air mixture screw, there's an O-ring and a washer that they usually have to pull out of here, but I rebuilt my carburetor, brand new, kind of just fell right out. Alright, now this is all stripped down, nothing in it except for this. You don't have to worry about. Alright, nice, nothing there. Alright, what you're first going to start doing, going to make sure this is where your choke would come through. You want to spray through there. Everything seems clear. And on the other side, it goes right through like that, or you just spray right through there. That's clear. Alright. Next, you should be able to see right up through here, like that. If you can't, there's a big problem. Guy's a pretty big hole. You want to spray through this one and the 3 of these. Alright, it's coming right out the bottom. That's good. And that one might be our problem. You gotta go like this, make sure. Alright. Now, when you go blow up to this one, it should come out a little hole. A little tiny hole right back in there, if you can see that. Okay, and that seemed to be clear. And you just want to make sure all these passages are clear. Normally, what you want to do when you get a carb rebuild kit, yeah, you just want to switch out your jets. It comes with all these. If you're not going to buy one, you can clean them out with torch tip cleaner, or they make Honda, I know, makes a special tool that has different sizes on it. They can poke through it. I just use basically, anything small enough to poke through it, such as the metal insides of a bread tie or something like that. So make sure none of these are clogged. Poke around a little bit, not gonna hurt anything. Okay. Alright. And if you have an air compressor, you can blow through all these. The really big problem on these carburetors is this vent tube. Goes to that hole right there, and it does get clogged. And it will make your machine not run good. Alright, make sure it's nice and clear. Usually, if you put your mouth up to this and blow right through it without a problem, usually fine. So that's all clean, and we can put it back together. Alright, first thing you want to do is take this, has this little piece, and this big piece. Alright, they go right on over like that. You take your screw, put the screw back in, make sure it's tight so your float seat doesn't fall out. Now this is a number 2 Phillips. Is most likely what you're going to use. Number 1 being too small, which means you'll strip out your screws. Number 3 being too big, or you won't be able to use it. Like, this is number 3. Doesn't exactly work with such a small screw. Next thing is you're going to take your choke stuff, your choke pieces. This piece going inside of the carburetor, like that. Make sure this is one flat side and one round side. It matches up right in there. Tighten that down. Your 9/16 14mm wrench. Tighten it down. And your choke needle, push right down there. Make sure you have this pulled out. Make sure it goes down nice and smoothly. If it doesn't, your choke needle is probably bent. Alright, tighten it down. Get it snug. You should be able to pull up, and it should go right back down without any problems. Push it back in. Take your choke lever. Take your lever. And screw that back in. Make sure that's tight. Don't over tighten it, otherwise you won't be able to use your choke. It'll get stuck. That's what the lock washer's for. Just kind of snug it up. It's to the point where it's not too hard to pull. It's, yeah, like I was saying before, pull it down, pull out with that in, that's half, pull it out, goes down all the way. Okay. And then next, you're going to want to take your free element mixture screw, put the O-ring and washer back in it. It's pretty simple. If it didn't stick to my fingers. Alright. Then you take the needle, put the spring right over the needle. It's the easiest way to get it in. And I'm going to take flathead. And you're going to turn it all the way in. And don't forget what you counted when you turn this, before you turn this out. How many turns you turned it in. It should not be difficult to turn that in. Turn it until it seats. I was only half turn out, which I know is wrong. So I'll set it back to 1 turn out. So half, alright. From that position to there, it's half rotation. So you're going to want to go, that was half, 1. Alright. I'll leave it there. Usually they're 1 turn to 2.5 turns out. Next one I want to do, take everything you took out here, your low speed jet, your main jet and orifice tube. Take your orifice tube first, and you can screw that right back in. Make sure you have the O-ring on that. Okay, take your 5/16 8mm wrench and slide it down, just like that. And then take your main jet, nice clean main jet, and you'll want to put that back in the top. Snug it down, they're only brass, don't break them. And then take your low speed jet, you put your low speed jet right back in there, and you snug that down. Don't ever tighten it, brass. Okay. Now, all that's done, you're going to want to put your float, you're going to hook your float needle onto your actual float and drop it into its place. Hold it there. And put the pin right through. You should be able to see it. Like, should have a little spring back in it. That's how you usually know your float needle's junk, if it doesn't spring back like that. One way to tell if your float's bad, right here's where your fuel will go in. You blow through it while holding this down, and air comes through it, then it's bad. Pull it up, and you blow through it. That's what's supposed to happen. It's how your fuel, doesn't flood your motor. Take your idle screw with the spring, put the spring in here. It's something you usually adjust, when your machine's running. Okay, and then you're ready to put your float back on. And then put them backwards. Okay. You're gonna make sure that screw is closed so your fuel doesn't drip all over the place. Take all your screws, stick 2 in there across from each other. Don't tighten them down all the way, just snug them up a little bit. Like that. See? One there, one there. Take your other 2, do the same thing. Ignore the sirens if you hear them. And now you can tighten them down. Do it across from each other first. Do it with the other 2. Make sure you put your gasket in there and everything. And you should have a nice, clean carburetor. And your machine shall run perfectly fine now, hopefully. Alright, and I hope you enjoyed, and thank you.